This is Sherry at Twisted Granny Tarot. Yes, I'm the only Twisted Granny here. And thanks for coming to my show. And we're going to do Taurus right now. And it's Taurus for September of 2025. And some of y'all may have seen these videos before, so you may already know that this kook uses a horoscope design pattern as a diagram for a card reading. And each one of these spots on this horoscope are labeled with the title of a category of a person's life, like your home, your children, your job, you know, your vacation, things like that. So we're going to use this because we get a lot of information out of there in a very short period of time. Oh my goodness. Okay, now what this here is my favorite calendar, A Year and a Day. And it's published by a man I know named Link, and he researches the ancient mythological creatures and gods and goddesses their stories are listed here. So here's a good one. In September 17th, in 1964, Bewitched, the first TV sitcom about witchcraft, debuts on ABC. It's an instant hit, with 22 Emmy nominations. Who knew that? I sure as heck did not know that. Now let's see, what else can we find? What else can we talk about? Okay, here we go. September 25th is the day for Paeanopsia, a Greek feast of beans, to honor Apollo and the three Horae goddesses of the four seasons. There's only 3 in 4 seasons. Well, that's how they liked it, I guess. And down here at the bottom of that same little square, it says the birth of Sedna, Eskimo goddess of the sea. So on September 21st, they say that's this 25th, that the birth of Sedna, Sedna, Eskimo goddess of the sea and the underworld, Greenland, Siberia, and the Arctic. So she is the goddess of the underworld. In Greenland, in Siberia, and in the Arctic. I misunderstood that real quick, but I get it now. Okay, so what we have here is, I'm going to one final shuffle, and I'm going to say a little prayer. Okay, not over that card. Whew. I'm going to say, okay, now I'm going to cut them. Okay, and we're going to start with the first house on this diagram, which is, well, if it's a horoscope, it is about your self-appearance. It's like what you look like. But if it's a cards, we don't know what you look like. So it's more about what your mind is thinking. Okay? Oh, Mr. Taurus and Miss Taurus, are you having some kind of issues? Either you want to be the boss and you're desperately trying to keep hold of some unruly characters, or somebody is stopping you from something. So that's primary in this card right here. So if you really don't like authority, somebody's bugging you. Okay, second house is your money. And what is this? What is this card? It's Taurus. Well, it's the second house of your money, but it's an air card. Oh, and there's another air card. Okay, well, what do you think air signs do with money? Sometimes it's like that. Oh, so what you're doing with your money, Miss Taurus and Mr. Taurus, is something that you don't ordinarily do. Maybe this evil person is threatening some project or special, close to your heart project, and you may believe at this moment that if you let this person win, then all your dreams will go out the window. But if you get this project handled your way, you expect to make a lot of money out of it, and you can do a lot with it. So please be aware that this card, yes, it is a card of both outrageous things that you want and all practical things you want. These are just things you want. But most of these things in this picture are not everyday items, and they're unrealistic fantasies. That's the key about this card. It's unrealistic fantasies. So although if you're successful with this bossy thing going on, you could still have some things, but I'm sure a Taurus would certainly be practical about it, right? I don't see you flying off the handle and buying a paraglider or anything like that. Okay, third house is communication. What we have here, so you talk about money. So if you're in charge of a budget, you have to talk about money, or many budgets, or just your own budget. This is about how you spend your money. And it doesn't have to be just at work. It could be how you spend your money, how you talk about money when you're at home or when you're at work. So maybe the political arena is compromised, we might say, and we're not sure what's going to happen to our money and our ability to survive. Okay? Fourth house is your home. Are you moving? House prices are coming down around here. So all this card means is something is coming. Something's coming to your house where you live. It doesn't mean it's bad. It doesn't mean it's good. We're just going to see. Maybe the next card will help us. Okay, fifth house is the moon. Romance and creativity. And romance means, your boyfriend, your love affairs, your kids, because they're, procreations of yourself, recreation. They're the things you love the most, and you're by far your grandest invention, right, would be your children, and your most important invention would be your children. But somebody's telling fibs here, because the moon, watch out, because there are things going on that you are not aware of. All right? And it's kind of like you believe that you need to accumulate some certain sundry items for your creative project. But people are not telling you the truth about it. Maybe the boss is not a fan of your project. Whew, oh my goodness. Okay, sixth house, work and health. Well, what do we got here? We have a guy who has gone back to the battleground. He's gone back to the battlefield, and he is picking up the swords and the shields and the tools of war, and he's bringing them back to his own place. So if this is about work, you've learned a lot from this job. You've learned a lot from every job. And the things that you learn, you don't automatically discredit them after you leave that job, because there are certain things that can be viewed and kept as benefits. You know what I mean? Okay, so then the other part of this is your health. Well, when it's your health, this could be that once upon a time you had a health scare and you went about the business of cleaning it up and hacking off what was making you sick. Meaning you hacked off your diet and you don't eat it. You don't get to eat any more potato chips and ice cream. That might be it. So I am sorry. That's what that says. Okay, so now we got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Seventh house, marriage. Honey, this is marriage partnerships and business partnerships. So one of those things is disappointing you severely. I hope you're able to work it out, or you're able to accommodate the changes that might be coming. And maybe nothing will change. Maybe it's just not exactly a win, whatever it is this card represents, whether it's an argument or bad feelings. Okay? Eighth house is money from other people. Now, money from other people means income tax checks. Okay, that's money from other people. Well, not exactly. It's your money. You're just getting it back. And also inheritance checks. That means people from money on the, money from people on the other side. And then there's car insurance checks or home insurance checks. If you've had an accident, you get a check. And there's lawsuit checks. There are lawsuit checks. So what this says is, you know what? I think sometimes you feel really bad because I think you feel really guilty because you need an inheritance really bad. And it makes you feel bad if you say that to yourself. Okay? It makes you feel bad. But you wouldn't have been the first person who felt that way about their lives. Okay? Now, this is your ninth house. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Ninth house is philosophy, religion, higher education, and long distance travel. So, philosophy, religion. Oh, this is a queen, and she's the queen of fire. So this could mean, oh yeah, that there's a lot of flame, energy going on around, a lot of combustion in this house, which is philosophy, religion, higher education, and long distance travel. So all of those topics are topics that you would love to be able to pursue if you only had the time and the money. Now look, because she's a face card, I have to draw another one to shed more light on this face card. So what these lovers here are, so you already have a companion picked out as to who you want to explore long distance travel with. And you may have already picked out a person you want to engage in spiritual studies, right? And because this card right here, the Lover's card, is what's called a major arcana card, it's likely to have a good effect on your long distance travel, philosophy, religion, and higher education. Okay? Now, we're putting this next to the devil. The devil is the card where the boss might not like what you're doing or something like that. I don't remember what I said. But these lovers could lessen the effect, could dampen the effect of this devil card. So just be aware of that. It doesn't have to be terrible. It could actually be a blessing in disguise. Okay? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Okay, 10th house is your career. Wow. Why is this such a... Swords is an air sign. They usually go pew, pew, pew. So why is this sword so short? And it's in air. So it's not making much noise. So are you making whispers about this project you're working on? Or are you broadcasting it loud and clear? 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay. The 4th house is the house of home. The 10th house is the house of career. So even though they're complete opposites, they still have something in common because people need to sacrifice their home life for their jobs, and people need to sacrifice their jobs for their home life sometimes. You can't take overtime that day, or just can't. So this is, wow. Okay, now listen. If everything works out, you'll survive these situations. So it might be a good idea to keep a lid on your news about your project. Maybe it would be a good idea to keep it fairly secret. And one of those reasons is because people will gossip, and people who gossip can set the tone for the gossip about your special plan. Now, if the worst case scenario is this could be a short job, or it's possible that this project you're working on is just going to be axed, okay? Because there's really nothing to compare this to except to say, okay, 11th house, This is long-term plans. What's this look like? They're going somewhere, so you really want to leave town. So kids, if what you're viewing here is not your cup of tea, you may be able to, now be careful what you pray for. Please, please, please be careful what you pray for. Because these people are going somewhere. And are you going back to a previous employer? Or you can call your friends from previous employers and say, hey, are you guys hiring? And what kind of work do they do there? And maybe you could find yourself another job if the emperor is somebody else who's aggravating you, and the devil is about all you can take. So it's kind of like, you might be kind of feeling like they're working on your last good nerve, you know? Okay, now what this is a 12th house. It's what you think about when you go to sleep at night. So you worry. Probably, you may feel like you have good reason to worry, and you may have good reason to worry. So try to be, well, I could help you if you won't think, you'll probably think this is a silly idea, but coming from somebody who had to do this, okay? Count your blessings. Count your blessings. If you have, what are your blessings? Your blessings might be that you own your own house. Your blessings might be you have a car and it still runs. Your blessings might be that your kids are healthy and they get on the bus every day and go to school and they're happy when they come home. Those are blessings. So it's possible to replace the worry with blessings. And what happens when people do that is what you think about, you bring about. So if you think about blessings when you go to sleep at night, you're probably going to wake up in a better mood, and you've already set the tone for the next day because you've been thinking about your blessings. Please remember, words have power, thoughts have power, thoughts are things. Make sure you're thinking appropriately. Okay. I love this card. It's about two people that have been friends since childhood, and they're still friends today. And they still play together. They talk, they play, they discuss things. So you might have an old friend you may want to discuss this whole situation with, because I don't know if you think so, but cousins are the best because they know everything about you. So if you got a cousin around in town and you think she's or he has your best interests at heart, if the sea goes murky at work, you can talk to this person about how to improve that situation, how to dump that situation, how to go on after that situation. Okay? So I'm suggesting that you talk to somebody about what's going on at your work, and they may be able to help you to see some insight. Now, there's also, depending on how you feel about gossip, it may be all right to talk to somebody who at your company but doesn't work in that building. Well, that's up to you to decide, because once you've blurted out your doubts or your hopes, then they may take it straight to people you don't want to hear it. Or maybe you do. Maybe somebody needs to get a message to them so they'll know how committed you are to this project that you've got working on here. All righty. Thanks very much. I hope this was helpful. I think you can be successful this year. There's going to be some bumpies though about this. This is for September. So there's going to be some bumps in September. And remember, this reading might be labeled for the month of September, but when does anything in astrology does not go according to schedule? It can go according to, on a man-made schedule, you can make things happen. But sometimes we're not in control of timing. Actually, most of the time we're not in control of timing. So tread softly, dampen down your fears, and hold up your positive thoughts about this whole situation. Okay? All right. Thanks for coming to see Twisted Granny. Love you, mean it. Have a good day. Thanks for everything. Bye.